All right, let's go, man. Let's get into it. I'm gonna enjoy making this video because this idiot needs to be lined up, and I'm so mad I can't curse. But I have to stay monetized, and I'm gonna try my best. Because this guy is such a clown. And for any 49ers fan, listen, Kyle Shanahan deserves to be fired. He is a complete and utter idiot. I am so sick and tired of people giving this guy excuses. I'm so sick and tired of people calling this guy a genius. A genius. So let me get this straight. Kyle Shanahan's a genius, right? What genius doesn't know the new OT rules? What head coach does not know the new overtime rules in the NFL? I knew them as a guy sitting on my bed watching the Super Bowl millions of miles away, but yet this clown gets paid millions on top of millions of dollars to not know the overtime rules? Are you serious? This guy is such a genius. He has the best running back in the league, up 10 points, up 4 points, and doesn't run the ball. Ran the ball, 3-4 times in the second half? He wants to throw with his mid-average quarterback every play against Mahomes and Andy Reid? What genius blows 2 leads in the Super Bowl, one 28-3 as an offensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons, the other time against Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid's first Super Bowl, and says, you know what, I'm going to keep doing the same game plan that I lost two Super Bowls with. And this guy's a genius. He's a genius. To all the NFL experts, to everybody in the media, to all the analytics, because you know why? Because he's an analytics guru. He's one of these offensive, flashy, this, that, and the third, all this other stuff. Guess what? He's a clown. He's an utter clown. And it disgusts me. There's 2 things that disgust me. Number 1, he didn't shake hands with Andy Reid after the Super Bowl. Yo, Kyle, stop. Yo, you're so lucky. You're so lucky I can't curse. Kyle, stop being a crybaby. Stop being. Kyle, you lost that Super Bowl. Be a man and shake the man's hand. You lost it. Why are you being petty? You're an idiot. You're a clown. You're stupid. This clown on my screen has the nerve to not shake hands with Andy Reid because he messed up. It's because he blew the game. It's not Andy Reid's fault that you're an idiot. Andy Reid did his job. He did his job. And one of the jobs going up against you, Kyle Shanahan, is we all know you're going to do the dumb thing and keep throwing and throwing and throwing and throwing the ball, even if Kyle Shanahan could be up 50 points. He's going to keep throwing the ball like the clown that he is. Kyle Shanahan, if you get fired from the 49ers, guess what? The circus is hiring because you're the biggest clown I've ever seen in my whole life. Even Bill Belichick, I've taken dumps all over Bill Belichick. You can go look at my Bill Belichick videos. I am not a fan of Bill Belichick. Even Bill Belichick wouldn't do the stupid stuff in your position. In your position, bro. Why is this guy getting an excuse? Why does he get an excuse? How does Steve Wilkes get fired, but Kyle Shanahan doesn't? It's Kyle Shanahan's fault. It's his fault. How does Steve Wilkes get fired? How? And I'm not saying Steve Wilkes doesn't deserve blame. No, he doesn't deserve blame because the Kansas City Chiefs offense didn't look that good. You're up 10 points. The defense is doing good. Bro. I don't understand. Bro, anybody who watched that game in the fourth quarter, in overtime, that 49ers defense is tired. They shouldn't be tired. When you have Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel who can run like a running back, and you keep throwing the ball when you're up 10-0, 10-6 on the Kansas City Chiefs, why are you not running the ball and keeping your defense on the sideline? But Steve Wilkes gets fired. That defense was tight. Look at Nick Bosa. Look at Chase Young. Look at Warner and Baby Palomalu and Armstead. Them boys were tired. You know why? Because this clown on my screen refuses to run the ball. And I'm pissed off because no one's holding this guy accountable. I actually don't blame, like, the reason why I haven't I was going to line up Brock Purdy. But you know what? Brock Purdy did his job. He managed the game. Brock Purdy is not a Mahomes. He's not a Lamar. He's not an Allen. He's not a Burrow when healthy. We all know this. He never will be that. Do I think you can win with him in a Super Bowl? No. And obviously this proves it. But at the same time, it's all on Kyle Shanahan's head. He's the one that put him in that position. He's the one that kept telling Brock Purdy to throw the ball. Not to audible to a run, to throw the ball when you have Christian McCaffrey, who no one in the NFL, I don't care if you're the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Bills defense, I don't care what defense you are. You're not stopping McCaffrey. And yet you keep throwing against the Chiefs defense, which is one of the best defenses in the league and has one of the best secondaries in the league. You keep throwing against them, and this guy still has a job. How? Just how? This is the worst. This Chiefs team is worse than the 2019 Chiefs that they lost to. At least that team had a prime Kelsey, a non-Taylor Swift Kelsey, Tyreek Hill. Who does this team have? They have Kelsey, let's be for real. Kelsey's diminished and he's distracted with Taylor Swift. Martin Scantlin, who almost cost him the game by running under the line of scrimmage. This is worse than the Chiefs last year. At least they had Juju. Juju is better than every single receiver on this Chiefs team. And that's not saying much. And yet they're still better than the 49ers. Kyle, you got out-coached. How can you make an excuse for this? Niner fans, listen. I get getting a new coach must suck. I get, it's a hassle. I get that. But at the same time, you're not winning with this guy. Einstein said it himself. The definition of insanity is to keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. It's either one of two things, Niner fans, and I should do a video on this. Either you get a quarterback who's way better than Brock, like you have to pull off like the Deshaun Watson, a Matthew Stafford trade, or you got to get rid of Kyle Shanahan. Because Kyle Shanahan running these average bums out there, these mid quarterbacks out there like Jimmy G and Brock Purdy ain't going to work. And Kirk Cousins ain't going to work either because he's just as a choker as Kyle Shanahan. When this idiot had a chance to get Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers, he chose Jimmy G and Brock Purdy. This idiot does not know the overtime rules. That is a fireable offense, and any 49ers fan should agree with me on this. Niners, can you imagine if you had Aaron Rodgers behind that offense? He doesn't get injured behind that offensive line. You have the best left tackle, and you give him McCaffrey, Debo, Jennings, Uchek, what's his name? Kyle Uchek, whoever, George Kittle. And that's another thing. You have one of the best tight ends in the league, and George Kittle has less than five catches throughout that whole game. But you have a stacked roster and still lost to an inferior offense in the Chiefs. Just make that make sense. And not only that, you don't know the overtime rules, bro. What coach doesn't know the rules of the NFL? And have a job. Have a job. And say that, okay, even if he doesn't know the overtime rules, right? He comes out and says it, and Niners players come out and say it. You don't say that in public. You don't, even if it's true, he doesn't know the overtime rules. You know what that makes San Francisco 49ers fans? He's making your franchise look bad. The simple fact you have this clown employed, and he doesn't even know the overtime rules in the NFL. And some guy on his bed watching the Super Bowl, like me, knew them more than he did. If that's the case, pay me millions of dollars so I could coach this team. He has to go. I'm going to ask everybody a question. And shout out to YTC and CEO and everybody in the Discord, right? I don't know if you guys are watching or not, but I'm gonna end the video on this. There's about a lot of head coaches I will take over Kyle. I'm taking Doug Peterson. I'm taking John and Jim Harbaugh since Jim Harbaugh's back. I'm taking Mike Tomlin. I'm taking Pete Carroll if he was still in the league. I'm taking Mike Vrabel. I'm taking who else? Sean McVay. I'm taking the Bengals coach. There's so many other coaches I'm taking above this bum. That's my thoughts, man. What are yours? RJ out.